You're such an asshole.
I forgot to put the link in. I'm going to do that below. I feel bad. That image is from obviously a company called Bookshark. They are not endorsing me. They're not. I just looked for man homeschooling son. And this image came up. It was a very good image. And it says Bookshark. It doesn't say anything about copyrighted. So I'm using it, but I don't want to just like, oh yeah, lift it whole. But it's a Bookshark, literature-based homeschooling 101. There you go. I'm going to endorse it because, well, public schools and private school is child abuse. As I established earlier before in the previous curiously timed video, children are murderers of childhoods. That's what you are. Oh, you think I'm being funny and facetious? Yeah, let's grab kids with all their energy and put them in fucking school. Put them in desks and office buildings for 13 fucking years. Oh. Fucking dipshits. I'll add that to the link below. So we have another question about the general topic of education. Hello, Cappy. I would like to hear your insights on how to be an efficient and effective autodidact. And for those of you with public school education, that just is a fancy word that means one who teaches themselves, which everyone teaches themselves, right? At the end of the day, you're the one going home and doing your homework or not and learning on your own. Your teacher is merely saying, study this, study this, study this. And oh my God, Karl Marx is great. And you should hate yourself if you're a white male. That's all teachers do now, except for more modern teachers like, oh, he's kind of cute. But that's a different topic of which Rollo Tomasi covers adequately. Video response, please let me know your price. So I would like to hear insights on how to be an efficient and effective autodidact, especially on technical topics. All right, let's break it down. Let's run another analogy. I think this will kind of explain it to you. How to be an effective autodidact, how to be an effective person who teaches themselves. It is exactly how do you become strong? How do you build up muscles at the gym? There's only one way to do it, and there's only one person to do it. It's you, and you got to do it by yourself. And maybe through just that's how we've always done it, through tradition, or young people, or I guess people who, if you don't know a subject, well, how do I learn it as efficiently as possible? I think that might intimidate people or send them to the logical conclusion that, well, I need a guide. I want to do this as efficiently as possible. And that would be what the role of teachers are. The problem is, especially in America, it's probably the worst, most inefficient way to go about learning. Because let's sit and think about this, right? Stefan Molyneux hit me upside the head with his, do you really think it takes 13 years to learn 8th grade shit? Which is essentially what American education is doing. After 13 years, you have kids from the age of 5 to when they're adults, and they don't have a skill. They don't have a trade. They don't have an ability. That right there, you have had a kid for 13 years and they're still unemployable. So right now, the education system in the United States, including private, K through 12, you could throw in college 85% of the time, because then you go to school for another 4 years, you're 22, and you still don't have an employable skill or trade. The way we're doing things now is so inefficient, it's almost hard for you to be less efficient than going to school for your entire youth, 8 hours a day, 10 with the bus ride, and still learn nothing at the end of the day. Oh, okay, you might be able to read. All right, yeah, okay, you could do some basic math. But especially if you're more intelligent, or not even necessarily more intelligent, though that too, but you're just impatient, like I am, teaching yourself is way more efficient than going through K through college and going through the current American education system, private or public. It is absurd. It is, again, a theft and a murdering of your childhood. It took teachers that fucking long to educate you to not be able to have a job. It's atrocious what they do. And now teachers are great, they're heroes and all that other stuff. So whatever apprehension or worry you might have about, well, geez, how do I be a good autodidact? I would say, well, it's better than the alternative, which is pissing away your youth. This is why if you're a parent, if I were to be a parent, which I'm not, if I were to be a parent, there's no way my kids are going to the public or privates. No way. I'd give up my job. Like, sweetheart, you're working. Time for you to girl boss the fuck up. I am educating the kids, or we will educate the kids, whatever. There's no way I'm sending my kids to the wolves to have their youth destroyed. I know a guy, I can't mention his name, but his children make the best and the tastiest slave labor childhood jam. Him and his wife homeschool the kids. They're out there exploring, they're hiking. The little he lifts weights. The little boy watches him lift weights and wants to lift weights too. Those kids are coming outside. Public school or the current education system is so inefficient that you could spend 2 hours a day with your kids, boom, and you're done off doing other things. Ideally, especially if your boy's learning how to fix shit, more of the trades and mechanical stuff. So the first step in your question, I would not worry about screwing this up or being the most efficient. And how do I be a good autodidact? It's like, you're going to be better than pissing away your time paying $400 a credit and your entire youth gone. All right. Second, there still is something to be said for wanting to learn a topic as quickly and efficiently as possible. And again, no different than going to the gym. Okay, like, how do I build muscles? Well, you go to the gym. You're going to be doing a lot better if you just start randomly lifting weights than doing nothing at all. But there is something to be said about doing it properly and getting a regimen and maybe even having a trainer or somebody do that. The great thing is that we have the internet now. I'm going to say it again because it's true, not because of my intense dislike and distaste for teachers. Teachers have been replaced by YouTube. And not only that, we have the powers of the internet and technology, and I hate to say it, capitalism. We're the best rise to the top. And we have a system through YouTube and a like and an upvote and a downvote type of system where you find the best teachers online. Now, maybe that whatever's the most popular teacher may not be the best one for you, but it's almost a guarantee right now that let's just say the highest viewed or the highest rated geometry video conducted by a person, whoever that person might be. That video, that lesson, whatever, that's the most highest viewed geometry video out there is better than 99.8% of all the other in-person teachers. Read from the book. Here's your thing, SAS, AAA, triple S, if you remember geometry, Pythagorean's theorem, all that other kind of stuff. It's better, more efficient, and you know what? You don't have to take a bus ride with a bunch of normies and then go sit and listen to Mr. Johnson talk about the same shit that they got to water it down to keep the idiot kid who's only has half brothers and half siblings, a step brother's a step sibling, acts up and prevents everybody from learning. Right? That video, the best teachers are on the internet, not in the classroom, except for that one teacher who's on the internet who also maybe has a classroom as well. So you're not lost, especially in today's age with the internet. You're definitely not lost. There's a plethora of options out there for which by you to guide. My workout routine that has been honed over time almost exclusively with information and wisdom on the internet, ranging from everything. Okay, what type of weights and lifts am I going to do, to technique and grip, and then diet. Oh yeah, you got to take your creatine after the workout. You should probably take the testosterone supplements before the workout. If you want to do this, you should eat that. If you want to just shred weight, getting six-pack abs is real simple. Starve yourself. There you go. How do I get six-pack abs? You just don't eat. There you go. If you were wondering. Watch every artist in the comment. That's actually not how you get abs. Point is, uh, I would not let it intimidate you at all going out online. So, one, merely being a self-teaching individual is going to make you more efficient than the current day American education system. Two, there are plenty of resources online that can help guide you and give you the basics, and you could further fine tune. I mean, auto mechanic skills, same thing. I didn't take one auto mechanics course; it was all online. All right. You can teach yourself. And then the third thing, as you talk about technical topics, it depends what you're talking about. Like, again, auto mechanics is pretty technical, or electricity, or something like that. There's stuff online you can do. But if you're talking more academic, technical, calculus, engineering, physics, and all that, they have courses online. There's Coursera. And let me just look them up. Coursera, edX, cons, Academy. I mean, just uh Coursera, Khan's Academy. I'm just Udacity, Udemy, Coursera, Khan's Academy. Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think those are the 5 main ones. edX, Udacity, Udemy, Coursera, Khan's Academy. If you just want to learn, right? If you just want to brush up. Now, the great discrimination and oppression of the poor people and of the masses, a genuine discrimination, comes in certification and accreditation, right? We have granted universities and colleges a monopoly on knowledge and information, where they say only we can give our stamp of approval as to whether or not your information, your knowledge is legitimate and authentic. Which is why if I was ever president, I would add something to the Bill of Rights saying that you cannot discriminate on how information was acquired. Information, like, you have a right to information, you have a right to an education, no matter how you get it, which would make it illegal to discriminate against people. Like, in other words, we would get rid of all colleges, university. I mean, you could still have colleges and universities, and they could still offer degrees, but I would make it like, no, you also have to have a testing. Not the universities and colleges, all the industries, all employers, like, nope, you have to have a test, an aptitude test on that particular thing, like the CPA exam. I'm not saying a general aptitude test. I'm like, I want to be a mechanic. Well, then you can go and teach yourself how to be a mechanic, but there better be a test that allows people, however they got education, especially if it was free and self-taught, that if they can demonstrate that they're just as good and competent as the college educated idiots, which typically they are, you can't discriminate against that person, which would make education free, but no one cares to hear about that. How was I going with that before I had my wonderful idea? Um, oh, the in today's current labor market, the drawback is that you do not you could become the best self-educated computer programmer. Well, okay, that's a bad example because a lot of computer programmers don't have college degrees. They just have the ability and skills. The computer world, IT world, that's almost ideal where they have certifications, not necessarily the degree. So that's a bad idea. Accounting is another example of a good thing. Like, no, we have certifications in software and the enrolled agent and the CPA and the CMA. You don't know, well, CPA and CMA, you need to go to college for that because they're dipshits. But there's some industry where there's still gonna be a drawback where, uh, having the knowledge will not qualify you for employment, okay, in established traditional industries and fields, which I would say, because education is such a tremendous and costly and damaging burden to young people, you literally should choose fields that you can go into that do not require a college education. And for example, CDL or accounting. I have a course called The World's Greatest Accounting Career. I'll link to it down below, where, yes, a certain segment of the industry requires an accounting degree, but others, they don't care. Like bookkeeping, do you know how to do bookkeeping? Are you certified in QuickBooks? An enrolled agent, that's a test, that's a certification. That's not college educated requirement. You gotta pass that. And so if you are if you know you're an autodidact, if you know you want to be part of the autodidactic superior race, you have to choose a field. If your purpose is, are for career and income. You have to choose fields where a college degree is not required, where you could test out. And this is where I think there's a tremendous amount of hope. I got a buddy. Um, he has a daughter. I think his daughter is 12 now. And this guy, kind of like me, he's like, fuck school. He hates school. And his daughter's very sharp and very professional. And I don't say that like, single moms all say, my child is amazing as it's picking its nose and farting out potato chips. Like, no, your kid is not me. His daughter is definitely above average. And him and I have kind of gone through the trenches of like, how the hell do we make money? I said, dude, your daughter is professional and smart enough and timely, a very responsible young lady. You could teach her accounting and she could be doing accounting by the time she's 16. That's 4 years from now. She doesn't need to go to school and learn trigonometry. I mean, it's not bad if you learn trigonometry, but I mean, when's the last time you used, oh, cosine? Oh, yeah. SOHCAHTOA. I use that all the time. And he sat and thought about it. I'm like, why wait until she's 18? Get her making $50 an hour now with your fatherhood, your fathership and tutelage, you kind of helping her. You could have her qualified in QuickBooks. You could have her maybe even doing, I don't know what the rules and the laws are, like how old you have to do to be doing taxes. This young lady could be doing taxes certainly by the time she's 18, probably accounting and some basic bookkeeping by the time she's 16. I said, she'll be making more money than you and I did at the age of 19. She won't even be able to drink. She'll make more money than us. And I think if you figure out the fields that you can go into, computer programming, accounting, maybe even auto mechanics, although there's like legal liability issues there, carpentry, shit, just showing up on time and doing some basic maintenance. That's a huge field where you don't really necessarily need an education, but maintenance and repair, basic carpentry, landscaping. Again, you don't need a college course to learn how to put in a retaining wall, but you got YouTube to teach you how to do it. You could you can just bypass the fucking childhood murder factory and go and get not only a skill and a trade, but free up so much time in the kid's childhood. Well, a dad takes his kid, hey, let's go put in a retaining wall. Why is everyone calling me? Why does everyone call me when I'm doing this? Now people call. Um, I think that's the future for autodidacts. Now, of course, the paradox is you need a parent who actually gives a shit about you and is a little bit more aware than the average American parent who's some dipshit signing off on a mortgage for a McMansion or whatever and a car, and they don't really think about that. And unfortunately, it's more of a cycle. You have to initiate your own beginning, especially if you're a young person. Like I am the only one getting myself out of here. Mom and dad are busy getting divorced. Mommy's busy banging someone else. Dad is in financial strain. Your parents aren't, your average American parent is neither capable nor loving enough to sit down and say, hey, we ought to invest some time in our child and raise it so it's not pissing away 10 more years unnecessarily in the American education system. We got to equip this kid because the teachers sure the fuck aren't going to do it. So ultimately, especially for younger kids, I mean, we're talking kids now. That's hard for a kid, man. Hey, I know this doesn't make sense now, but set down the Nintendo and learn some debits and credits. This is where I think the starting in the 8th grade, you can really start to target kids. Like, look, do you want to make $25 an hour just mowing yards and not dealing with this dumb shit at school? Do you want to have a net worth of $120,000 cash while the rest of your friends are like just graduating from high school? Not that you end your education, but you get a skill and a trade. That's hard to convince your average 13 or 14-year-old kid, especially when the parents aren't going to do it for them. So I don't know what the solution is for that. But the opportunity for autodidacts, especially when younger, is tremendous. Tremendous when it comes to the world of skills and trade, especially self-employment. So I would use long way of saying I would use that as a motivation to say, I'm going to save a lot of time. I'm going to save a lot of money. Uh, I got nothing to lose. I mean, the worst of the worst is to go into the traditional American education system. So you might as well go. And are you going to make mistakes? Like, could you learn it more efficiently? Sure, you probably could have learned more efficiently, but not as inefficiently as the traditional methods. Your thoughts on how to be an efficient and effective autodidact, especially on technical topics. Yeah. So what I would do, I would start with Coursera, Khan's Academy, Udemy. Another thing you can do, real simple. You know what? Very simple. You could do is I recommend those because they're structured. They got online classes, etc. All you got to do, go to the university of a program you respect and look at their education requirements. You need these many courses and these many things. Now, if it's an engineering course, you might as well go pay for the engineering degree because you do need a certification there. I don't think they're going to allow you to test out of an engineering degree. But if there's something that you'd like to learn about, go to a university online and see what their, education tree is. Well, you got to get one, you got these basic courses done. You got to know these things. And then you could find courses online, get the used textbooks from 2 years ago because it's no different than the current one. You could structure your education that way if you wanted to, if you're looking for an outline or a template. But honestly, I think a lot of that is just a lot of hokum and padding the courses up front so a bunch of TAs have jobs. I would just go and look and say, all right, what do I got to learn? Search it on YouTube. Take a specific course on that topic and teach yourself that. And are you going to get the most efficient, expedient course or path to learning the knowledge that you want? No, but I mean, really, it's going to be at least 5 times more efficient than dicking around through formal education and that structure and physically going into a school. And then what was the other thing? Oh, finally, just like anything else, working out, auto mechanics, you're going to become more efficient at teaching yourself things. You're going to like, okay, this works for me. That doesn't work for me. It helps to have a textbook. It doesn't help me to have a textbook. I took way too many serious notes up front. I didn't know how to filter out bullshit information. I know when to stop listening to a video because it's not getting to where I want, or I don't like the guy's delivery. I prefer this gal over here who's more efficient or whatever. You're not going to bat 1,000. You're really not. How do you get efficient at asking out girls? Through trial and error, right? How do you get good at fighting? By getting punched in the face and hurt a lot. So there's going to be a learning curve, but soon you get to the point you're even at your worst, you're going to be better than the current education system in the United States, and you're only going to get better from there. And then by the time, for example, with repairing my motorcycle, I'm pretty efficient. Especially if it's a motorcycle I've worked on before. Yeah, the bolts here, the bolts here. Oh, yeah, you got to move this thing. And oh, yeah, you start to intuitively understand engines more. Okay, yeah, coolant. And then you got to get air and gas in the right mixture. These are carburetors. Those are injectors. Okay, all the fuckers put the spark plugs here. Those fucking morons. What were they thinking? You just get a little bit more efficient. But the first thing, overcoming that fear and just know, I can't imagine you're going to be less efficient than hopping on a bus or driving downtown where all the action is. Parking, getting a parking ticket because the campus cops are dickheads. Sitting in class, having to take a bunch of fucking prereqs. They have no DEI initiatives and feminist studies. It's just so much more efficient than the traditional structure of education that you're not. I would have absolutely no fear. So yeah, it's just kind of jump in and do it. Do a little bit of research. See if there's some courses that really, Coursera, Udemy, and all that online. See if there's more a little bit of a structured uh, uh, curriculum online that you could take. There's other it's homeschooling, it's K through 12, but they have packets. Like okay, here's what you learn in this year. Here's what you learn in that year. If you need something that structured, I'm assuming yours is in the realm of mechanics or engineering or IT or computers or something. Uh, that's what I would do is just get like the book or watch some videos. and kind of go from there. But it's same thing with the gym. Just get off your ass and do it. That's the number one thing you got to do. And then, 65% of it is done. Zeke Meister, $10, been homeschooled, taught myself using the DVDs, the homeschool curriculum provided from 5th to 8th grade, ended up smarter than 99% of the kids in high school. No crap, right? It's not because you're a genius, Zeke, no offense to you. It's because everyone, and you know what? Those kids could have been geniuses in high school too. But you can't become a genius if you're being taught by modern day American teachers. You just can't. They teach to the lowest common denominator. You're there to be babysat and brainwashed with Marxist leftist thought. That's it. You're not there to learn anything. I roll, therefore I am 20 generous Canadian dollars. A Molyneux quote, public education is a low intensity but very long, prolonged form of child abuse. Absolutely. I'll add largely why I never had children. No way was it going to make me humans to feed them into that hamster cage of hell. Yep. If I had kids, there's no way they're going to school. No way. Private or public. It doesn't matter. One's just snooty. The other one's not as snooty. Teachers are assholes all around. My kid could learn so much quicker. Unless, the kid was mentally impaired or something. That's a different issue. But yeah, my goal would be have okay, you 13? Hey, you're making $25 an hour. Let me teach you how Schedule C works. Right? We're going to talk about expenses versus revenues. Okay? Here's why we set up an LLC. I'd make it so that kid be making so much more money than me at the age of 18. My other goal, okay, kids making $25 an hour at 13, kids making $50 an hour at 18. And then well, what do you, Dad, what do I do now? Whatever the hell you want, son. Pay into the old man's Social Security fund. That's what you should do. Give me that 15.6%. That's right, because I'm old and got gray pubes. I deserve it. And then I'd start practicing, come on, baby, light my fire. And my son would be like, what the fuck are you singing? I'd be like, shut up. Your grandfather knew this. Nonstop Dre, $2. But Cappy, they say teachers are underpaid here. Teachers are generally speaking, as a class, they're parasitic. They consume way more in resources than what they provide in return. Yes, there are good teachers, but we are talking 1 to 2% of the population. Exalted, I can't even call it a profession. You're a population. You're not professionals. Exalted example, $10. Ended up Cisco certified CCNA at 34 because I started studying computer networks on my own time at age 32. Now I'm a network engineer. Oh my God, doobie, dabby, doobie, with the oopty-loopty and the ooh and the ee. Sit down, everyone. Where have all the good men gone? $115,000 a year base pay, remote work only since 2020. Huh. Dude, I bet, especially at your age at 34, you're starting to see the wheat from the shaft now, huh? Your early 30s, you start to see it where mommy and daddy's money runs out, and Becky's and the Trishas, I guess in your world, Madison's and the Haydens and the Yadens and the Badens. All of a sudden, all their sanctimonious master's degree, all of a sudden they're like, I need a student loan bailout. Dude, you're starting to get gray hair. What do you mean a student loan bailout? We're going to the protest. You're 33 years old. What do you mean you're going to the protest? Dre, $2. American parents. Cappy want us to raise our kid. Yeah. Yeah. It's hilarious. Watch the I'll grant young people a few things where you actually are screwed up. You want to see how bad it is with American parents? Just dare recommending to a woman that she raise her own children. You're fucking kids. Don't you want to raise them? The fact that's politically incorrect tells you everything you need to know about how fucked up our current moral value, familial system is, or values are, and just how warped. You should stay at home and raise your kid. Don't you damn! They literally, it's in the Democrat Party. Go look at it. I'm not making this up. They literally want other people to pay more taxes so you have daycare. Question, yes, you certainly might. Shouldn't the parents raise their own kids? That is hate. That's hate. I'm a guy with a funny mustache that likes to do a funny hand sign and walk kind of weird. because I recommend and insist that parents raise their own kids. You're not wrong, kids. Your parents are. Dre, $2. Do you like Gundam? Check your DMs. No, I haven't watched it. I mean, I don't hate it. I've never seen it. That was right when I went off to college, and like Seinfeld and Friends, I never really saw an episode, and the anime was starting to come in. Right, Dragon Ball Z, didn't get to watch it. Pokemon, didn't really get to watch it. I'm reluctant because it's an anime younger people liked, which is fine if younger people like it. But when you're young, you think kind of crap is really cool just because it's different. So I remember watching Pat Labor, and someone tried to get me into Evangelion. The fuck was that? That was the dumbest fucking shit ever. I didn't like that. Mark Magana, $2. Everything I know about real estate, self-taught. Right. And that's the thing. At the end of the day, you're the one doing the work. A teacher might guide you. You're the one that has to do the heavy lifting. So whether it's, do you want guides who are politically motivated and incompetent, or going to give you the wrong information, or do you want YouTube or AI at this? I mean, really, teachers could be replaced by AI. Although the AI would be programmed to be biased. So you just go watch videos. I mean, I taught myself how to dance. There was no instruction. I never took a dance course in my life. I did take tango classes. I will say that because the guy wanted us to be on a performance team. But everything I saw was self-taught. I watched, I learned, I practiced. Didn't have money for lessons. Ronnie Samaru, $10. Thanks for preserving the sanctity of reality over the years, Cappy/asshole. Yeah, no problem. Hey, and don't thank me. Thank everyone. Thank the left. Thank the Democrats. Thank the media. Thank shitty parents. Thank the boomers. Thank Gen X with their fucking pacifiers. Thank every degenerate American, every lying American for lying. Because I wouldn't be here. Thank the boomer bosses. Thank the dude bro bankers. Thank the banksters that collapsed the economy. Thank the dot-com bankers who fucked up the economy before. Thank everyone who ever lied, because by God, if people were honest and true, I'd still be a fucking banking analyst looking at spreadsheets. Also the most efficient at all, because there wouldn't be there would be no need to tell you, hey, yeah, all you kids have been lied to for 3 generations. Thank God there were professors and college admin to take your money and screw you over. Thank God, because if you were ever forthright and honest with it, thank God he told women they hate men and feminists were here. Do you know how little my books would sell if men and women got along? If there was no feminism? Do you know how poorly my books would sell? I wouldn't even write the books. I wouldn't even know there's a problem. Girls would be showing up on dates on time. Everybody would be in shape. Girls would be nice. Guys would be masculine. We'd be having sex, maybe raising families. There'd be no need. Cappy would have never existed. You can't have a career in crime or law enforcement if there ain't no crime. You can't be a doctor or a nurse if there is no disease. And you can't have this profession without there being fucking society-wide lies. So I want to thank all my, I guess, philosophical or ideological enemies or adversaries, because without you, I wouldn't fucking exist. Dre, $2. Did you hear a new term, emerging adults, age R 18? I don't care about, I'm not slamming on you, Dre. What was it? Dry promotion? All these new edgy terms the internet's people come up with, emerging adults. I think you just called them millennials. That's what I don't mean the actual millennial. I think we just call them millennials now. Emerging. It was called extended adolescence. Matt Baker, 87, 5 Canadian. I taught myself through university. The client needs to find a solid, reputable study system. Okay, good. A little bit of structure wouldn't hurt. Dre, $2. Movies and entertainment in Japan are awesome. Okay. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not in Japan. And what I've seen coming over across the Pacific in terms of overall Japanese anime, 96, 97% of it is garbage. There's very few ninja scrolls. There's very few Afro samurais. There's very few cowboy bebops. There's very few Venus Wars. And there's a hell of a lot of Dragon Ball Z and a hell of a lot of high school romance, weird fucking crazy magic shit, whatever. They just churn those out. Like, once I see they all got their high school uniforms on, I don't care. No, I don't wanna watch it. No, no. Ranma 1/2 was very charming. I enjoyed Ranma 1/2. That was very nice. All right, that's it. Link below, I'm gonna link to that, bookshark.com. Also, I'll link below to, The World's Greatest Accounting Career. That's a course on Teachable that I offer if you're interested in getting into the world of accounting. Half the paths of which avoid college. You don't need to go to college for that. And I believe Worthless, the Young Person's Indispensable Guide to Choosing the Right Major is linked below. We'll see y'all later. Toodles.